Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Charlotte Dewey. I'm a forecaster here at the Weather Service in Spokane, and this is our special live briefing for today, Thursday, January 18th. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the next about 48 hours worth of weather. So starting off with today, we have our next round of light snow moving through, and that will quickly transition to a mixed precipitation with some freezing rain later overnight tonight through Friday and part of Saturday. So we're going to see some relatively lighter snowfall amounts this afternoon across central Washington, and that will spread east and it will move into North Idaho overnight tonight. And then overnight tonight through most of the day Friday and Friday evening, we will see that snow transitioning to a wintry mix and some freezing rain mixed in as we get a warm front coming through. And so we're going to largely talk about our potential for freezing rain and how that will impact areas. And then I'll touch on Sunday through next week, we'll start to see temperatures warm up a little bit, and a precipitation type should be rain for the lowland areas. Let me move that over. Okay, so currently these are our winter weather headlines that we have in effect. We have winter weather advisories that transition from warnings to advisories for most of the central part of the state. We do still have some winter storm warnings for parts of the Cascades and then down into the Yakima Valley. And then over into North Idaho, we have those winter weather advisories, and those will go into effect later this afternoon and go through Friday. We don't currently have any more avalanche watches or warnings out in effect. The North Idaho Panhandle Avalanche Center has taken down their watch as of 9 o'clock this morning, and so we're waiting for any new updates if they send those, but wanted to let you know that we do still have considerable avalanche danger for the Cascades. And so if you want to head to avalanche.org, you can find out more for their forecast and if they issue any products, but right now we don't have any avalanche products in effect. So we'll start talking about our winds today. We will see winds out of the northeast, and so they will be sustained 15 to 20 miles per hour. We can see some areas that will gust 25 to 30 or 35 miles per hour. And our concern will be for some drifting snow. So any of that light, fresh, powdery snow that fell and perhaps didn't have a chance to warm up or get too sticky, we'll see areas for potential for drifting snow down the Purcell Trench from Sandpoint down to Coeur d'Alene, as well as areas out in the West Plains. So from Spokane west out to about Wilbur or so, Highway 2 would be the impacted area for that, and then down to almost to Ritzville. And then our lower confidence area for drifting snow is down the Palouse, so that's down Highway 195. With the winds out of the northeast, it can create some drifting snow, but any areas that had a little bit of a warmer, sticky snow, the drifting snow may not be as big of a potential there. And for our snowfall forecast, additional snow forecast for today through tomorrow morning, like I said, some of the snow will start out as snow and then transition to rain and potential freezing rain. But for today, from Bonners Ferry to Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, Wilbur, and Ritzville, we're looking for around 1 to 2 inches. And then those amounts will get a little bit higher as you get farther south and west. For North Idaho, from St. Mary's to Pullman and the LC Valley, again, about 1 to 2 inches. The higher bench areas could see a little bit more than 2 inches. And then our Cascades do have chances for 8 to 12 inches, and that's up at the passes, up at Stevens Pass and Snoqualmie. So the higher amounts will be up in the Cascade Mountains. And the snow will be cold. It will be that finer snow as the temperatures remain fairly cold in the teens to 20s, but the snowfall rates will be a lot lighter compared to what we saw yesterday with the heavier snowfall rates. So today's snowfall will be a lot lighter with lower amounts. And again, the timing for this one will be through this afternoon through overnight into Friday morning. So overnight tonight into early Friday morning, we will see that warm front begin to push in from the southwest, pushing in these changing precipitation types. And so what you're seeing here is a model graphic for various precipitation types with different colors. So the light blue is going to show us the snow, the green will be rain, and that magenta purplish will be the wintry mix, with the red being freezing rain. And so by Friday morning, 5 a.m., we're looking for the freezing rain to reach areas like Pomeroy, Washtenaw, Tri-Cities area, and as well as the Cascade Passes. Now down in the LC Valley near Pullman and down south to the LC Valley, we're going to be in that transition time, seeing the wintry mix to sleet to freezing rain in that early morning time as that warm front pushes north. By mid-morning or late morning Friday, you see that boundary of precipitation moving farther north and east. And so we still have snow from like Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, northward up into the Northeast Mountains, because those valleys will remain quite a bit colder. So the freezing rain and sleet potential will be more widespread across the Palouse on the north end of the LC Valley, the Palouse, and then up into the southern part of Spokane County. We will start to see the freezing rain and sleet potential decrease through the Cascade Mountains, but that will be a little bit longer transitional time period. So we have various probabilities to look at for how much freezing rain and ice potential we will see. Some of our models have been back and forth and kind of wavering on exact probabilities and exact amounts. But right now, for our probability of at least 1/100th of an inch of ice, so this is measurable ice accumulation, this will be for the period from Friday morning through Saturday morning, so kind of a 24-hour period. We're looking for the greatest area of accumulation to be that Palouse, the Tri-Cities to Palouse, part of the LC Valley, and then up into the Spokane, Coeur d'Alene corridor there. These highways out here in the Palouse and the Eastern Basin will be most impacted. You can see if we go to the next higher amount, the probability of 5/100ths of ice accumulation, so we're still below 1/10. These probabilities decrease quite a bit, but again, the area of focus is still in that Palouse area. And then farther west, the Cascades still do have quite a bit of a chance for the northern or the higher elevations of the Cascades still do have those 30 to 40% probabilities of the measurable ice accumulation. So for our going forecast for ice accumulation for freezing rain, these ranges are a little bit wide as you get down into the Palouse and towards the LC Valley. So our exact official forecast for, say, the Pullman area is not up to 1/4 inch, but the range is giving us that margin of error for those probabilities that we could see close to and up to 1/4 of an inch, but our confidence is not very high that we would see any more than 2/10 of an inch. But that would be the area of highest concern and greatest impact. And you can see areas that go all the way across the basin up into the Waterville Plateau and up towards Sandpoint do have chances to see measurable ice and freezing rain. And that's really going to depend on how quickly that warm front moves through. But this is something to expect, something to plan for as the snow transitions to that mixed wintry precipitation and that freezing rain overnight, tonight, through a good portion of tomorrow.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Sorry, and thanks for letting me interrupt. Pardon my ignorance, what's the difference between freezing rain and sleet? And is there one that's worse than the other?
No, that's a good question. So sleet is more of the smaller, like an ice ball or the frozen raindrops, whereas freezing rain, once it falls as rain, it freezes on contact to a surface and becomes ice. So that sleet is kind of like a melting snowflake, and it's falling down as like a little ball, frozen ball.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so looking out several more days, we do have the prediction center, the climate prediction center, that's giving us more favorable chances for seeing these warming temperatures and above normal temperatures, as well as above normal precipitation. And this is more typical of an El Nino pattern. So it looks like we'll probably be out of our active winter pattern, but with some upward trending temperatures for late, that's for late January. And so if we look out a couple more weeks, we have similar pattern. We have forecasting to return to a pattern similar to what we saw in December, with above average temperatures and our active storm track shifting farther south. And then I grabbed a temperature outlook just to kind of show you what we're meaning by those quote unquote warming temperatures. So for today into tomorrow, we're still seeing temperatures in the teens and 20s, but then as we move through the weekend and become a little bit more quiet with the weather, we'll start to see temperatures kind of moderate out towards near normal or average for this time of year, which is with our daytime temperatures in the low to mid 30s and our overnight temperatures in the mid 20s, depending on your location. But we're trending more towards a seasonal average as we go through the weekend into early next week. Okay, to summarize, so for the next about 48 hours, we're looking at the wintry precipitation starting as snow and then transitioning to freezing rain, sleet, kind of that mixed precipitation as our temperatures warm up a little bit. So this will impact travel Thursday evenings, that's tonight through Saturday, for those freezing rain and sleet potential, and then the light snow accumulations as well. But again, those intensities are going to be a lot less today and tonight as compared to like what we saw the last day or so. The ground temperatures will be cold enough to freeze surfaces, but again, that's going to depend on the location for where those areas warm up. Okay, and as of this time, we don't have any scheduled live briefings scheduled, but we will continue to send out our partner emails as needed for any updates to our forecast.